What we have here is an image from the Egyptian Book of the Dead, which was a book that discussed a great deal of information about the Egyptian afterlife and what one needed to do, the necessary steps that they needed to go through in order to receive a successful afterlife. There was a journey that they experienced after death. It wasn't something that they necessarily earned. It was something that would happen to them as a process of mummification. Now, not all Egyptians had access to the afterlife. Initially, in the Old Kingdom, the afterlife was something that was only accessible to the pharaohs. But as we move forward through Egyptian history, and we have to remember that we're talking about a period of 3,000 years, as we move forward through this period, it becomes democratized. Afterlife becomes something that's attainable to everyone, and it's all through the gift of Osiris. He is the one that allows someone to have an afterlife and to be resurrected into a new world. And what this image shows, it shows souls lined up after they have perished. And in front of them, you will see a picture of Osiris and Amun-Ra, the chief god of the Egyptians. And here in the lower frame, we can see an Anubis, one of the jackal-headed minions of the afterlife, leading a person to have their soul weighed against a feather. The feather may be very difficult to see because of the image quality. But on this side of the scale, this is the person's heart. The Egyptians believed that your soul resided within your heart, and your heart was weighed against a feather. And this feather was the feather of Mahat. Mahat is the Egyptian belief in the right order that the gods ordained. What the gods have chosen to be, the way that people should live their lives. And so if your soul, which is in the form of your heart, if it is equal to the weight of a feather, or if it weighs less than the feather, then your soul has been judged worthy, and you get to move forward in the afterlife process. Unfortunately, not everyone leads a good life. And if your soul happens to weigh more than the feather of Mahat, that means that you have done bad things in your life, that you have committed some type of sin. And if you have committed that sin, then your soul will be fed to the Amut. And the Amut here is very important in Egyptian history, and the animals that are represented in the Amut are very important to the Egyptians. It has the head of a crocodile, very important for the Nile River, the upper torso of a lion, and the rear section is hippopotamus. So your soul will be fed to this beast, and you will die a second time, and a more permanent time. There will be no afterlife for you. But if your soul is equal to or less than that feather, if it weighs less than that feather, then you're ticked off here on this little piece of papyrus that Thoth marks on. He is the god of Egyptian writing. He was very, very important in the very old kingdom. But remember, we're talking about 3,000 years of history, and so the roles of the gods changed. And when you have over 2,000 gods, their roles will change to fit in all the new gods that are created through this period of history. So he marks off and says that your soul has met the standards. You are led by Horus, the falcon-headed god. You're led by Horus up to Osiris, who is the god of the dead, and your soul will be judged by him to move forward into the afterlife. So that's the Egyptian process of being judged after death.